YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with my San Francisco 49ers offseason rebuild, going through cuts, adjusting the cap space situation, and then targeting some players in free agency in the NFL draft, re-signings, of course, as well. Again, doing this for every single team. We got a bunch on it. We're ripping through these now. We're ripping through them. All kinds of different NFL offseason content on the channel. Much more to come. So join us, subscribe. Be much appreciated. Follow our Twitter for instant reaction to news, breaking news, everything you can think of there. And you see underneath me, walkthemock.com. Best draft simulator out there for sure. You can create lobbies, join lobbies that are constantly going on, mock against or with other users or your friends. Very cool. Ends up being pretty damn cheap if you use the code GOATHOUSE at checkout. Link in the comments there. Check it out. Well worth it. And then here's our Twitter, just constant updates and talks here. Talk on everything. A lot of cap space talk when things happen. And yeah, here's a little cheat sheet, live cap space projections, projected cuts, what the potential savings could look like. Restructure options on this Twitter link right here. But to the Niners, offseason rebuild, cuts. Some minor cuts here just to clear a little bit of money. Could be expected. Around $17 million to start here, cap space. Again, at the time of recording this, we don't know the exact team salary cap yet. Weird offseason. Restructures to clear some money. Jimmy Garoppolo is a tough one because, they could potentially cut Jimmy Garoppolo if they find their quarterback. They're sort of in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, even though the Texans are insisting they are not going to trade him. Maybe they eventually do, but they're insisting. And the Niners are definitely a strong candidate, but there are other ones that are pretty strong candidates that might be able to offer more. So Garoppolo, it sounds like they'll keep him unless they have a different plan or unless he's not healthy. But if you restructure his deal, push some money back, you can clear $11.42 million, and you can do something similar with D Ford. D Ford's a very good football player, very good in this scheme. He's got to stay healthy. That's kind of the story for the entire roster of the Niners. It's maybe the most talented roster in football from top to bottom. It's just so many talented players that just can't stay healthy, and we're kind of worried about that. For the last couple of years, really, they managed to stay, for the most part, healthy the Super Bowl year. So hopefully they can do it again here. D Ford, though, can clear some money by restructuring. These aren't pay cuts. Maybe somebody takes a pay cut. Almost impossible to predict that number. It's kind of up to them how much of a pay cut they want to take. But so we could reach. These according to my calculations here, should be pretty damn accurate, maybe even spot on. We've had predicted a few spot on already. So we'll see if they end up doing that to clear a little bit of space. Because we got to spend some money re-signing players. Trent Williams, you got to get him back. It's one of the best left tackles in football. If they don't get him back, the offensive line's looking a little messy at this point. So spend the money there. Could be north of $18 million per year. You got to bring Kyle Juszczyk back. I'd imagine it's not too expensive. Best fullback in football. I think there's not too many other places he can go though at the same time. So I don't think, because not everyone utilizes a fullback like that, but they'll get him back. Jason Verrett was kind of back and forth in this one because this is a guy that's kind of been plagued with injuries, and the Niners, we might need to go away from some of these guys, but stayed healthy last year for the most part, looked really good. I think they can reach a cheap deal here. Kwan Williams, slot corner, I think another cheap deal. You don't want a hole you already got holes at corners because guys are going to lose, and keep in mind Verrett's injury concern. You don't want a hole at the slot corner position. I like Kendrick Bourne as a good rotation receiver. Solid route runner, feels like he's getting better, good hands. So get him back. So I guess some of these are somewhat cheap. Trent Williams really is going to break the bank there, but it's going to be worth it. Hopefully he does. Yeah, he's another guy that had some injuries in the past as well. Just tough. Got some really good football players. Got to stay healthy. So then we go on to option one here in free agency in the draft. Need another guard to fill in there. I like Lane Taylor from the Packers. They could lose him. I think the Niners will like him as a fit, plug and play guy. And then, we let Jaquiski Tart walk. You might get a little cheaper here, actually, with Keanu Neal. Problem with that is another guy that gets hurt, but it's kind of a big upside guy because he looked like, when he's healthy, he kind of looked like one of the better safeties in football. So they could look to grab a guy like that. And Tyus Bowser, I really like the fit. Again, D Ford is really, I think he's very good. I think he's underrated in terms of his talent. He's kind of their Leo edge rusher that can drop back in coverage at times. So I like Tyus Bowser as the exact fit. I actually had him as an option for the Jets as well. It kind of makes sense. It's going to be the same defensive scheme here. So that's just kind of in case Ford is hurt, which hate to say it, but you almost expect it at this point. And then we go to the draft. I still think you need an outside corner because you're going to lose a guy or two in there, including Richard Sherman. If Red has injury concern, probably only a 1 or 2 year deal. Patrick Surtain, there's a chance he's on the board sitting there. It sounds like Farley may be the first one off the board. So grab Surtain. They would love to have him. Physical corner, dominant at covering the outside, really good footwork and hips. What he can work on maybe a little bit, I think the receiver, shifty receivers can beat him on inside routes, but typically the Niners will run. We'll see if they continue to run that cover 3. So they're corners are out on that outside cover 3 lane. So I think that's perfect here. And they may need a center of the future or right now get a guy like Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma. And they could actually use a running back. Jet McKinnon might be gone. Tevin Coleman might be gone. And once again, there's injuries within the running backs. Looking at Mostert. I like a guy like KYLIN Hill here. I think he's pretty underrated. At times you watch him, it's almost Kamara-like, So I like the upside of him. I think he'll fit in there. Running back's actually kind of a sneaky need. I want to say need, but it's a little bit. So, and it's just going to be on if the Niners stay healthy. They're going to be a damn good football team if they stay healthy, but we got another scenario for you guys. Maybe they want to go a little harder at that cornerback position, get a guy like William Jackson, who I think is a good fit in their scheme as well, and got tons of upside, getting better by the game, really. So maybe they want to go a little bigger there. And they do want to add a guard here, John Feliciano, who might move on from the Bills. Not overly expensive. Again, we spent some money here in re-signing, so it's not a whole lot left. And then I think James White would be a pretty decent fit there, coming from the Patriots, catch the ball pretty well. Kind of that McKinnon replacement. It's a possibility, not too expensive. People might be a little disappointed to do a Deshaun Watson scenario. Again, the Texans are insisting they're not trading him. If they do trade him, it's going to be premier picks plus some pieces, that they really, really want. So I'm looking at Panthers, if the Jets and the Dolphins get involved. But I still, the Texans are insisting they're not trading him. We'll see what happens. But in the 49ers, we got a guy part of the channel that really thinks the 49ers will end up with them. So we just disagree on that a little bit. I'm not ruling out the Niners. I just think things need to happen. So I think if they're on the board and Mac Jones is still on the board, or, on the clock, they're on the clock and Mac Jones still on the board, I think they'll like him. Play Jimmy Garoppolo for a year. They can get rid of him and clear a lot of space in the future. Mac Jones can go year 2. He might be able to outplay him in year 1, to be honest. So I would like that very much. Maybe some fans won't, but Mac Jones is very accurate, great reactions, intangibles through the roof. Better, not a great athlete, but better athleticism than given credit for, better arm strength than given credit for, but those aren't elite things, obviously. I would like him in the system. JEVON Holland can fill in at that strong safety. He also can play inside and outside corner, so that helps as well, but could play that strong role. And then they could look for more of that athletic edge rusher that has familiarity with putting his hand in the dirt, standing off the ball, kind of a D forward backup or maybe starter early on. DAELIN Hayes from Notre Dame kind of checks those boxes there. He has experience with all of that there. So that could be and keep in mind, that's a 4th round pick there for who's KYLIN Hill and DAELIN Hayes. Those are 4th round picks. They got a 1st, 2nd, and 4th. And they should get a compensatory pick. At least one there. We'll cover that in the near future. But yeah, again, like these fits, it's all about staying healthy. That's what it is for the Niners. And, if they can get better at quarterback, they're a scary team. But Garoppolo did just help get them to the Super Bowl just a year ago. So we'll see what happens for them. What I like about the Niners, they're not afraid to get better. They like Garoppolo. They got him there before. If there's an ability to get better, there's an opportunity. And that goes for any position. They want to do that. So that is what I like about it. Just something weird's going on with these. They're just gathering players that somehow develop injury problems, and that's what I don't like. So not sure what's going on with that. So hopefully a healthier season ahead here for the Niners. We did this for a bunch of teams doing it for a bunch more. And we got all kinds of different offseason content, whether it's predictions, grades, everything, rumors. We got you covered. Anything you can think of, we got you. So join us, smash the like button, subscribe, turn notifications on, check out that Twitter, link it in the comments for anything you need. It's going to do it though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.